Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Iowa Week for Ohio Sim Racing. I'm Sean Fitz alongside producer John Long. I want to welcome everybody to the SRN coverage of the Xfinity action right here for Ohio Sim Racing. Qualifying getting wrapped up here. I believe we still have a couple drivers left to take some time if they're going to. Once we review the standings, you're going to be not very shocked at the fast drivers tonight, but that's going to be okay because this track has a way of producing some challenges for a lot of drivers here at Iowa. You're going to see a lot of folks get tangled up in things that maybe they weren't quite ready for. Iowa's a very humbling racetrack, and we're going to take a look here tonight at the starting lineup as gridding is underway here for this 125 lap main event. As I mentioned, some familiar names up front tonight. Philip Ellis, Richard Lucky starting 1-2. Chris Lucky 3rd. Kyle Finlayson up front in the 4th spot. Jeff By Jr. starting 5th. Dean Brummett, TJ Wood, Ryan Pelfrey starting 8th tonight. So we continue to cycle through the standings here. Chris Morrill, watched him put on a show here last night as well. He's going to start 9th. Cody Ditto 10th. Britt Van Meter 11th. Clayton Paisley 12th. Gary Williams, Jim Ott. Jim back there in 14th tonight. He's going to have some work to do tonight. Cody Jayberg, Wesley Gilliland, Jason Harrison, Steve Schoaf, Steve Proser, John Chappell rounding out the top 20. Brandon Thomas, Aaron Jackson 22nd tonight. Anthony Aluddy and Tim Likens, Gregory Valet, John Sears, Carrington Wilmer, Jeffrey Knight, and Christopher Kurlick there are going to round out this 28 car field. Again, gridding underway here in Charlotte tonight for the main event. SRN's Premier League, the Xfinity drivers getting ready to go racing here in the cornfields of Iowa. Pace car is going to get a rolling here in just a moment. Again, want to thank everybody for tuning into the SRN tonight. Simulcasting live coverage of OSR on all of your favorite streaming platforms. That's Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube under the Sim Racing News banner. Get connected to the community. You're not going to want to miss any of the action coming up in the next couple of weeks. From Truck Series to Xfinity, Cup Cars, Radicals, and Street Stocks, all coming to the Sim Racing News Network. Love to have you around. Cars are rolling off pit road. Philip Ellis out front. Richard Lucky in that 41 starting on the front row. These two are very often up front fighting with each other, and no wonder we see them up there again tonight because they are very quick and very competitive. We will see pit stops tonight, even in this race. It tends to go green. We'll see a couple drivers come down pit road, or drivers come down pit road. They'll have to at least take fuel, I believe, within about 80 laps or so. However, a tire run after about 10 laps, you're going to want to have fresh Goodyear tires on these cars. This Iowa racetrack, very bumpy and a little difficult to navigate around. And we'll be talking that up here as the race progresses tonight. Two Toyota Supras up front. We're getting ready to kick off Iowa here on the SRN as the OSR brings Xfinity to Iowa. We're green flag. Philip Ellis on the bottom line through 1. Richard Lucky not going to contest it there. They're going to get single filed out. That's Lucky Ellis, Lucky Finlayson in the top 4. Christopher By on the bottom underneath Lucky, trying to pick up that 4th place spot. Not going to make it happen. You're going to see a lot of drivers really trying to make that outside line work out of turn 4 tonight. That's going to be where it is on this newer tire model. The bottom is feasible through 1 and 2, but you definitely want to be on that outside when it comes to turn 4. So we take a look back further in the pack. This group of drivers still trying to sort it all out. Chris Morrill's up to 10th. Cody Ditto is up to 9th. Little 3-wide action back here as they smooth that out. Jim Ott just in front of those drivers. Again, he's got some work to do tonight. He's also got the nose cam. We're going to ride on board with Jim Ott as they roll through turn 3. Jim placing that 4 car right on the bottom of the apron. Letting that car roll through the corner. In the meantime, you're not missing anything out front. Philip Ellis out to a 3/10 of a second lead over Richard Lucky. This is going to be a very interesting race, and to see who can manage tires mid-race. Who's going to take care of the equipment, as Dean Brummett has shown some flashes of speed over the last couple weeks, is underneath Jeff By. Brummett going to squeeze on through and slide up. He's going to let that car wind all the way out against the wall of the turn 4. Another driver showing some flashes of speed lately is Ryan Pelfrey. He's got that machine rolling around. He's currently 8th. Cody Ditto also on the move tonight. He's underneath Pelfrey and setting sail for Finlayson as he works his way through 4. Seven laps of green flag action here at Iowa. A lot of horsepower in these cars to manage with. These drivers are going to have a lot of opportunity to make some questionable decisions tonight as we work through this race. Jim Ott in that 4 car starting to look underneath Ryan Pelfrey. Again, Jim starting back near the rear of the field, around 14th or 15th. He's up to 9th so far. Philip Ellis again out front so far tonight. Almost 0.6 of a second here. And he's showing a lot of speed tonight. Richard Lucky 2nd, Chris Lucky 3rd, Dean Brummett 4th, Jeff By 5th. Kyle Finlayson 6th, Cody Ditto on the move on that outside line. Him and that 4 car, Jim Ott, are side by side as they exit out of 2. And Ditto and Ott are going to be door to door on the exit of 4. But you'll see that outside line really get an advantage on the drive off of 4. He's also going to put Finlayson on the high side through 1 and 2. That's a lot of where those bumps are. A lot of drivers are going to be staying below that that second white striped line there in turn 1 and 2. Those bumps will really shake up these Xfinity cars here in Iowa. Ditto getting caught on the bottom there through 3 and 4. He's going to lose a little bit of ground. Jim Ott, Finlayson on the outside now, rolling through 1 and 2. This is the place where Ditto can make up some ground, but he's got to get clear of the nose of the 15. He's not going to be able to do it. He's going to be stuck on the bottom again through 3. Not going to have the room to close the door on Finlayson, and they're going to nearly be 3 wide. Ott looking underneath Cody Ditto. Finlayson looks like he lifted a little bit down the front stretch. let these guys go, but then that brings Ott into the picture. They're side by side off of 4, or off of 2 rather. Jim Ott rolling that bottom, squeezing in front of Cody Ditto. Cody Ditto looking underneath him, thinking about the crossover, doesn't make it happen. Jim Ott up to 6 now on lap 14. A little further back in the pack here. This is Britt Van Meter, Chris Morrill, Clayton Paisley, Jason Harrison, Gary Williams and co. back here. Wesley Gilliland is also on the move. He's currently showing 11th. TJ Wood 10th. Most of the rest of the field single filed out here. And as we go back to the front, the hunt for the lead is starting to narrow up a little bit as Richard Lucky has picked up the pace. Just a slight gain each and every lap. But he was faster than that 09 car, Philip Ellis, last time by about 5/100ths. You see that interval now between those two drivers, less than 2/10. That last time by, the gap was even bigger. Lucky is in the hunt here. He's looking for the lead for the first time tonight. Let's ride on board with Richard Lucky. Richard rolling the bottom. Not a lot of drivers doing anything like that on the bottom, and Ellis is able to steam away here on the front stretch. They're nearly going to be bumper to bumper, though. Less than a car length gap between the two down the backstretch. Last time by, their lap times were nearly identical. At this point, Lucky is showing he has a faster car strictly on lap times alone. These two drivers have broken away just a little bit from Chris Lucky and Jeff By, Dean Brummett. The field cycled out here, coming to the stripe. "20 laps of green flag action here at Iowa on the SRN for Ohio Sim Racing, the premier series for Ohio Sim Racing. We appreciate them bringing us on board over the last many weeks to bring you side by side, bring you action here on the SRN every Wednesday night. Those lap times really starting to even out between Philip Ellis and Richard Lucky. It's all going to be about tire management. We talked about that earlier. It's all going to be about who keeps the rubber on the, who keeps the most rubber for the longest under these Xfinity cars, who finds the best line to roll through these corners here at Iowa. Very different in 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4 in different lines. It's not the same track it was with the old tire model, that is for sure. And drivers are having to find new ways to drive around this racetrack. Dean Brummett, Jeff By, side by side again. Dean on the bottom of the racetrack, hanging on to the door panel there of Jeff By. We go back here. This is around 10th. They're still side by side out here. The 26 car, TJ Wood on the bottom, trying to make hay underneath Ryan Pelfrey. They get single filed out. Christopher Smorrell looking underneath TJ Wood now in 3. I'd be very honest with you, seeing a lot of cars try to make 3 and 4 on the bottom work more than we've seen all week in official racing. It is certainly nice to see another groove starting to come in. Now the track is transitioning just a little bit. It looks fairly dark in the end of 1 and 2. 3 and 4's in sunshine. Richard Lucky starting to fall back now. 4 tenths of a second. to Philip Ellis's lead here. As again, the track continues to transition. The backstretch now moving back into sunshine. A little bit of an overcast sky here at Iowa tonight in the session. A little bit of a fight for some racing space here towards the back. This is around 13th or so. Aaron Jackson, let's ride on board with him. He has got the best view of all this. They're 3 wide right in front of him. I know for a fact Aaron Jackson is not thrilled about this. This is arguably one of his favorite tracks here tonight. It already looks like he's got some right front damage as well, as he's got a couple drivers. Steve Schuff getting into him. The 50 car gets turned around and collects a couple others. The caution's going to be out here at Iowa for the first time tonight. As I mentioned, Aaron Jackson was not going to be happy about all that. It looked like the 50 machine just got into him on the outside here. Let's go back and take a look. They exited 3 and 4. Schoaf has got the better line. Was able to drive off of 4, but he gets bottled up behind the 91. And then just comes down on Jackson. Yeah. I'm sorry, wait. That was not Steve Schuff, actually. Who was that in the 50? Oh, that's Wesley Gilliland in the 50 that came down. He was bottled up behind Steve Schuff. And it looks like the whole lead pack is going to come down to get tires. We called this earlier in the race. You're going to want tires every chance you can get. I think even with this pit stop, this puts them on the edge of their fuel window. I do not think it takes them all the way in. This will not be the last stops we see tonight, as these drivers, again, under caution on lap 29 of 125 laps here at Iowa. Philip Ellis hits the block perfectly, but so does Richard Lucky. Chris Lucky behind him, leaving a little bit of room in the front. So we're going to watch this race off pit road. Essentially, 4 tires and fuel is going to be what you call here, and Ellis is going to beat him off. Richard Lucky's going to be second. It looks like Chris Lucky and Dean Brummett. That's going to be interesting how iRacing Scoring scores that. We'll have to keep an eye on that move. Jim Ott right now is showing he's in the top 5 so far now. I believe iRacing Scoring is showing Dean Brummett in front of Chris Lucky on that race off pit road. Jim Ott's going to be 5th. Kyle Finlayson 6th. TJ Wood 7th. Cody Ditto is showing 8th. Christopher Smorrell 9th. Britt Van Meter rounding out your top 10. Looks like the entire field came down pit road that time by. No tire strategies here in play at the moment. You really don't want to tempt fate this early in the race, especially here at Iowa. These drivers taking those 4 tires and getting as much fuel as they can into these machines. Under caution here tonight for the SRN's coverage of the Xfinity League, or the Xfinity drivers here for Ohio Sim Racing. You want to find out more about this style of racing, or get together or get involved with this league, you can head on over to ohiosimracing.com for more information. You can also do a search on Facebook for Ohio Sim Racing. A lot of interaction from the admins and drivers alike on the Facebook page. Again, ohiosimracing.com or Facebook, do a search for Ohio Sim Racing. We're going to step away while under caution here at Iowa for the first time tonight. You're watching the Sim Racing News Network. Philip Ellis, Richard Lucky bringing the green flag back out here on lap 33. Philip Ellis is choosing to take that outside line. Richard Lucky's going to slide up in front of Chris Lucky to get up to the high side as they roll through turn one. Dean Brummett looking underneath Richard Lucky. You've got TJ Wood also underneath a couple drivers back here. That's Jim Ott. He's under Ditto as well. Nearly 3 wide coming off of 4. Christopher Smorrell up in the top 10 right now, running 8th. This group is fighting hard for track position. Jim Ott gets loose off of 2. He's able to save it. They're 3 wide into 4. That's Finlayson, Ditto, and Ott trying to hang on to it. TJ Wood has to check up really high, so does Smorrell. That was chaos right there in that 4 car for just a little while. He was crossed up on both sides of the racetrack, on both ends. Looking underneath Finlayson again, trying to reset that position gain. Ditto starting to drive away. He's up to 5th. Either way, Jim Ott is on the move. Tell you what, we've mentioned Chris Smorrell tonight more than we have in previous weeks, but that's because he's having a decent race tonight. He is trying to get by TJ Wood in that 26 car. Rolling the bottom of 3 or 1 and 2, just can't get to a spot where he can capitalize on the momentum in 3 and 4. And 3 and 4, the preferred line for these drivers here tonight. You're not missing a whole lot of anything because we caught it here. Richard Lucky underneath Ellis. And he's going to get clear. Richard Lucky now your winner, or your leader rather. The first lead change tonight on lap 38. This is a dangerous spot for the rest of this field here. Richard Lucky out front with a clean track in front of him. He's going to be able to put that car wherever he wants to. Philip Ellis now 0.3 of a second back after that lead change. Ellis's car does not look like it's handling as well as it was in that first stint. Chris Lucky on the move now, trying to capitalize on Philip Ellis's dirty air here. This is a fixed setup league, so these drivers are essentially running what iRacing provides. That setup is fairly tight. You got to be very careful with it. You also got to manage your right front tire. Being behind somebody will make that car drive completely different than it would with you out in clean air. And Richard Lucky is showing that now. He's already gapped Ellis by 0.6. Just a handful of laps here. Jim Ott, he's still fighting with this move back here. He's underneath Ditto now. That's again going to be for 5th, but TJ Wood also looked like he may have tagged the wall there, but that outside line and where Cody Ditto is capitalizing on that speed. Jim Ott just rolling the bottom, not able to really get the drive off the corners of 3 and 4 he's looking for. I think TJ Wood just hitting the wall again out of 1 and 2. Right on board, TJ Wood. No damage on the hood of TJ Wood, but it really had to have been close there. These drivers try to utilize as much track as they can. Cody Ditto now underneath Dean Brummett for, this will be for 4th here. These drivers side by side. Jim Ott's trying to take advantage though. If he gets the opportunity to shut the door on Ditto, take that top line away on the other end of the track, he's going to do it. Side-by-side battle for 5th. Again, you're not missing anything up front. Richard Lucky out to a 0.7 of a second lead. Chris Lucky not quite caught Philip Ellis yet. These lap times between these two drivers here up front, they're still pretty tight as these tires begin to wear here at Iowa. These drivers already on lap 17 on these brand new tires here. Just gotta baby the equipment around. I believe that was John Chappell there that nearly got into the wall out of 2. That's Jay Berg and Cody Thomas right behind him, having to check up and get out of the way. Aaron Jackson, after being involved with that incident with Wesley Gilliland underneath him once again as they roll through 1 and 2. Again, Aaron, this is one of his favorite track series. Had an opportunity to win a couple of races tonight in the official series, but running an open setup, and tonight it doesn't look like that setup's working. The fixed setup is working for him here. As he's trying to take 15th away from Wesley Gilliland. This lead interval starting to tighten up once again. Richard Lucky in the first 20 laps really pours on the speed, and you've seen that during the last green flag run we had, but Ellis was out front and was starting to really gap the second place of Richard Lucky. Well, Richard got off to a really good start this last time, was able to take the lead away, but now he's starting to slide back a little bit, and Ellis is on the move. Those lap times, last time by, 4/100ths faster. Phillips was 4/100ths faster. Or Philip Ellis, rather. There we go. We're going to figure this talking thing out tonight, not like we do it for a little bit of a living or anything. But Philip Ellis, as I mentioned, on the move. He is rolling that outside line 3 and 4. Whereas Richard Lucky uses the middle of 3 and 4. So let's ride on board with Philip Ellis. Using that nose cam, you see the 2 different lines these drivers elect to use through 3 and 4 here. Ellis back to the throttle. One of the drivers we're also seeing starting to come into the picture is Chris Lucky, as he's made some moves here. Last time by, he was a 10th faster than these 2 drivers up front. These 3 are the class of the field. The gap on back after that's Dean Brummett, nearly 2 seconds back. Side-by-side passes here for Jeff By and Chris Morrill. Chris on the outside as they roll into one. Trying to keep that car out of the bumps. Morrill is able to clear him there as they roll into 3 and 4, running about the same lines. As we look up front, these top 3 drivers are starting to get fairly tight here. Lap times are even between Philip Ellis and Chris Lucky. Richard Lucky is certainly fighting for a little bit of pace, nearly a 10th off that last time by. A lot of this is really going to change, or a lot of this is going to really make you think about, as a driver, what do you do? Ellis had the opportunity early to just kind of settle back, rest on his tires a little bit, and let Richard Lucky run away. Richard did that, but right now, is he just toying with everyone? Is he in tire conservation mode? Or has he exhausted those tires already? With over 25 green flag laps on them. That's the thought process a lot of these drivers have to use. The decision making here. Do you burn it up chasing after everybody? Or you let them do it and you save it? It also depends on the strategies of the caution. Does the cautions come out? And you don't really have to save. There's so many variables here, including the weather, as we see Chris Lucky underneath Ellis in 1 and 2. Ellis is going to have that drive off, though. This track is continuously changing as the race goes on. We're starting to see overcast conditions over 2/3 of the racetrack on the bottom, on the front stretch and through 1 and 2. That track's starting to cool down a little bit. You see Chris Lucky, though, he's able to get by Philip Ellis for 2nd place. Ellis is now back to 3rd. The furthest he's been so far tonight after being our pole sitter. Richard Lucky starting to pull away now once again. Suddenly he's out to 0.8 of a second. It's just as long as it took us to explain what we possibly could be seeing. Richard Lucky is out by a big gap on Chris Lucky and Philip Ellis. Back behind those 3 drivers, Dean Brummett, Jim Ott rounding out the top 5. Finlayson, ditto. Morrill's in the top 5, or top 10 rather. He's up to 8th. Jeff By is 9th. Britt Van Meter 10th. TJ Wood 11th. Not a whole lot of racing action right now. Everybody's pretty much single filed out. We're in the mid part of the race where there's just not a lot you really want to do. You want to maintain a clean car. You want to keep it towards the end. We are well into fuel window now, so the next stop these drivers take, they will be able to make it all the way on fuel. As we've been under green flag conditions now for about 30 laps, these tires really starting to fall off. Seeing a lot of these drivers about 1.5 seconds slower versus their fastest times tonight. Richard Lucky over Chris Lucky by almost 1 second, but Richard is starting to see, he's starting to see some lap traffic in his windshield there. That's Jeffrey Knight staying high there for Richard Lucky as Richard slides on by. Officially past halfway tonight for this 120 lap event, 125 lap event here in Iowa for Ohio Sim Racing on the SRN. If you're new to the channel, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you get connected to the community across your favorite streaming platform. That's Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. We appreciate you being here. You're not going to want to miss any of the racing action coming up. We've got more Xfinity action coming, as well as the Radical 8 cars, street stocks, trucks, and so much more right here on the SRN. A battle for fourth here heating up. That's Finlayson Ott. It's also Dean Brummett on the outside. Cody Ditto's in the picture. This fight's kind of snuck up on us here as they're 2x2. Ditto really peeking the bottom on the bumper of Finlayson. Finlayson running about half a line higher than Ditto. Doesn't really have a whole lot of room to slide up there as Dean Brummett's working that outside line. Finlayson is working the bottom and making it stick behind Jim Ott in that 4 car. Brummett, Finlayson still side by side. This is all for 5th here. This is bragging rights on the top 5 tonight. Looks like Finlayson's going to slide back a little bit. He's going to succumb to that outside line. Going to settle back into 7th. Up front now. Richard Lucky has slowed down the pace just a little bit. That last time by Chris Lucky was 2/10 faster. Philip Ellis 1/10 faster. But those drivers have got some ground to make up as there's a 1 second gap between the leader and 2nd and 3rd place. Again, well within fuel window now. These drivers are just racing for an opportunity to... Well, they're just racing now, putting in laps. They know there's probably going to at least be one more caution. If there's not, there's going to be somebody that decides to come down and take tires, I imagine, near the back, and that's going to pay dividends. Right now, almost a full second and a half differential between the two. Between new tires versus old, these drivers now have about 39 laps of green flag action under them. And we have about 55 to go tonight here in Iowa. Up front, as I mentioned, Ellis on the move again. He's picked up the pace. The lap times between himself and the 2 Luckies in front of him are nearly stabilized. Christopher Smorl's looking underneath Cody Ditto out of 4. Ditto's going to roll that outside, though. He's able to get away. We've got some green flag racing underway here on the SRN. Let's take an opportunity to crank it up. If you like the sound of race cars, crank up the volume. We're going to do the same on our end for a couple laps. Hope you enjoy. Side-by-side action once again here for the top 5. Ditto is up to, he's up to 6th. He's got Christopher Smorl in the bumper, but Finlayson's on the move there as well. As during that crank up moment there, we had Dean Brummett get into the wall a little bit off of 4, but that's not slowed him down. He's looking on the outside of Jim Ott. That's for 4th place. Up front, though, not missing a whole lot of anything as Richard Lucky continues to navigate through some lapped cars here. That gap, 1.5 seconds now back to Philip Ellis, who was able to get by Chris Lucky just a little while ago. And this gaggle for 5th just continues on. Christopher Smorl is able to get by a couple of these guys. He's now on the drive to hunt down Jim Ott and Dean Brummett. And caution's out on the racetrack here in Iowa. We've got a car stopped on the front stretch. That's John Chappell involved. Let's go back to take a look here and find out what happened. These are 2 lap cars just behind our leader. Carrington Wilmer coming up and making contact. John Chappell not able to save that. That's happening right there in front of the lead pack. And caution is out here on lap 82 at Iowa. Everybody's going to come down now. We'll see tires come on, or tires to be put on these Xfinity cars here at Iowa for the second time tonight. You see several cars come in and cycle out, and just like that, that 1.7 second lead that Richard Lucky had has vanished. The entire field's going to roll down pit road. Everybody's going to come in and get tires and feel like brand new men in those race cars tonight. Right now, you've got 3 Toyotas, 2 Chevys rounding out the top 5. I'm sorry, a Chevy and a Ford rounding out the top 5. The manufacturer battle here for OSR continues to take place. All 3 Toyotas of Finlayson, I'm sorry, is of Ellis, and the 2 Luckies there. Entry was spot on. Philip Ellis is going to get off pit road first. I'm sorry, Richard Lucky's going to get off pit road first. Ellis is second. Chris Lucky may have I believe he got off 3rd there. We'll have to go back and take a look at that replay. He may have had some competition with him. Dean Brummett currently showing 4th. Waiting for iRacing scoring to cycle out here. Chris is slow down the backstretch. We may have a penalty on the 42 machine. No, it looks like he's just riding around on the apron. Not quite sure what could be happening there. He's falling back through the field. Waiting for confirmation about that penalty here for the 42 of Chris Lucky, running in the top 3 all night tonight as he continues to cycle back through the field. Right now, he's showing in 17th spot. That's going to slide everybody up 1. Richard Lucky, Philip Ellis, Dean Brummett 3rd right now. Jim Ott's going to be 4th. Christopher Smorl's 5th. Again, a good run for him tonight. Cody Ditto 6th. Jeff By 7th. Kyle Finlayson 8th. TJ Wood 9th. And Cody Jayberg 10th place. As these drivers for Ohio Sim Racing are under caution for only the 2nd time tonight here in Iowa on lap 85. We're going to step away for just a few moments and bring you back with the green flag right here on the Sim Racing News Network. In the haste to get off pit road, Christopher Lucky in that 42 car got caught speeding. He's going to start back there, one of the last cars on the lead lap. That's going to set him back. He's going to have to work his way through the field. In the meantime, Richard Lucky, brother up there of Chris Lucky, he's on the outside line, and your leader here as they come back. Green flag racing on lap 87. Philip Ellis on the inside of row 1. Jim Ott, Dean Brummett, row 2. Chris Morrill, Cody Ditto, row 3. Green flag is back out on lap 87. Ellis out to a clean start. That puts, Richard Lucky out to a clean start, rather. Ellis and Ott fighting it out side by side through 1 and 2. Ditto's going to get into the wall. That's going to check up a majority of the backstretch. Smorrell's going to look underneath him. That checked a lot of guys up right there. That's going to put Kyle Finlayson in a tough spot. They get it figured out there, though. Holy cow. And caution is back out on the racetrack. Yeah, it looks like Gary Williams involved. Looks like he may have had an incident in the bottom of turn 3 here, and he does. He just loses it. That almost looks like a byproduct of a little too much front brake bias there. As he brings out the caution here for the 3rd time. Again, Richard Lucky, Philip Ellis, Jim Ott, Dean Brummett, Cody Ditto. Your top 5. Ditto really got into the wall out of 4 there after that restart. And I really thought that was going to be a problem for the guys behind him. You see the damage now as we ride on board with Ditto. The right front just a little tore up with the sheet metal there. You're not really worried about aero as much as you would a bigger track. But here, you really want that right front to be set up correctly, and Ditto could be facing some broken suspension there. We're going to keep an eye on that and see how his pace is affected as the laps continue to tick down here at Iowa. Smorrell was underneath him trying to get by, wasn't able to make that move though. Finlayson got caught up behind him, as well as Jeff By. They were able to keep it off of each other though and keep it clean. Seeing as how we just come down pit road just a few short laps ago. Looks like nobody's going to take the option to come down. Carrington Wilmer on the outside. He is your lucky dog tonight. That'll put him back on the lead lap here when we go back green flag racing. And it looks like Christopher Lucky, Wesley Gilliland have elected to come down pit road. I'm getting reports that Lucky may have had an incident hitting the hitting turn 4 wall. Down pit road, most likely repair some of that damage. Let's check the onboard cam of Chris Lucky. Oh yeah, right front damage certainly evident on that 42 car. That's another setback tonight for that driver who was running in the top 3 for the first 80 laps or so here at Iowa. Has shown impressive speed so far tonight. But after the round of pit stops around lap 82, he's got caught speeding, had to move back into the rear after an end of longest line penalty. And that just continues to compound with that right front damage. We'll keep an eye on that story. He's going to restart 21st. Again, if you're just tuning in, we appreciate you being here tonight. My name's Sean Fitz, alongside producer John Long, bringing you Xfinity action from Ohio Sim Racing's Iowa Week, right here on the Sim Racing News Network, simulcasting live coverage across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube for your viewing pleasure. Make sure you say hi in the comments and the chat. Interact with everybody. We'd appreciate that. Make sure you get connected to the community. You're not going to want to miss any of the upcoming week's racing action. A little bit of everything on the books here, from Xfinity racing to street stock. Big money payouts. That announcement coming here shortly. As well as Radical 8 Racing on Tuesday nights. And of course, Ohio Sim Racing Truck Division, brought to you by Mosquito Ranger on Monday evening. A lot of action on the SRN in the next couple weeks. You're not going to want to miss any of it, so make sure you get connected to your favorite streaming platform and get notified anytime we go live. Pace car lights are off. That's going to indicate to these drivers they're going to go green flag next time by on lap 94. Richard Lucky, Philip Ellis, Jim Ott, Dean Brummett rounding out the front 2 rows. Cody Ditto, Christopher Smorl starting on the outside of row 3 tonight. Who's going to have what it takes to bring home the trophy? We're just about 30 laps away from finding out here at Iowa. These drivers are good on tires. No more patience. That's gone way out the window. Track conditions, it's starting to cool off a little bit. You're seeing the backstretch again in overcast. We're going to probably see some moves that we've not seen tonight be broken out here. In the closing laps of this race. Philip Ellis gets a rolling off of turn 4, electing to take that outside line. Jim Ott's having a moment. He's stuck on the bottom. He's going to lose several spots. In the meantime, Richard Lucky, Philip Ellis, Dean Brummett out front. Oh, Ellis makes contact with Brummett. They were able to save it there. That was a wild save by Ellis. As Cody Ditto was able to take advantage of Ott's misfortune there, move up to 4th, but Jim Ott's now underneath Ditto once again. In the meantime, Richard Lucky is on the move. Oh, big slide up by Ellis once again. They are trying to use up as much of this track as they can to find as much speed as they can. Dean Brummett, he's going to tag the wall out of 4. Able to keep the pace up, though. Cody Ditto on the move as well. Dean's now gotten clear of Ellis. Dean Brummett on the move after our leader here with just 29 laps to go. Mostly single file except for TJ Wood back here. He's underneath Christopher Smorl, tight against him as well through 1 and 2. Smorl's gonna have the drive off and get clear of TJ Wood. A little bit of a fight up here. The 4 car continues to struggle there. Again, he's cycled back to 6th. To Jeff by, Cody Ditto able to get by him. Dean Brummett, he's showing some flashes of speed. He's after Richard Lucky now. Saving tires is out the window at this point. Dean Brummett has closed the gap on Richard Lucky. Just 3/10 between those 2 drivers. Here the throttle control being utilized by Brummett here to try to work his way through 3 and 4 as smooth as he can. Ellis is back on the move as well. A little bit of action back here. That was a little too far back. There we go. Jeff buying. Jim Ott working his way through the field again. He's looking underneath Jeff by. And TJ Wood trying to make a move on Ryan Pelfrey in that 99 car. This is all for a top 10. These drivers trying to stay up there and fight for those spots. Speaking for fighting for spots after getting penalized on pit road and then making some contact with the outside wall. That 42 car, Chris Lucky, is up 9 spots. since the restart. Got some ground to make up here as the leader is certainly pretty far out front. And he's got some traffic to navigate through. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Richard Lucky, though, breaking away as Philip Ellis is able to get underneath Dean Brummett and make that pass. Ellis back up to P2. Going to be about nothing but consistency now as Richard Lucky 1 second ahead of Philip Ellis. And that gap continues to widen just a little bit. Lucky able to get by Cody Jaybird for a spot. He's up to, I'm sorry, that's 12th now. Quickly on the move. He's got Britt Van Meter right there in front of him. TJ Wood, Kyle Finlayson. There's Jim Motts underneath Christopher Smorrell here. That's for 7th. Oh, gets into the bumper of Smorrell. Smorrell's able to save it. What an incredible save out of turn 4. While the racing continues, let's go back and look at that a little bit. I believe the 4 car may have gotten into the bumper there just a little bit. Oh, that onboard's going to be great. Let's go back and take a look at it one more time. Yeah, Jim looks like he just carried a little bit more speed in there than the 48 of Smorrell. Had to try to save that car, and he did very well. Lost a couple spots back to Knight. Smorrell got some ground to make up. Philip Ellis, Jim Ott. Lap times, Ellis is about 5/100ths faster. Again, we're starting to reach that point where Richard Lucky starts to not feel as comfortable in the car, and that car doesn't respond the way he likes, and Ellis makes gains. They're running out of laps to get it done here as we're working on lap 108 of 125 in tonight's Xfinity action. Christopher Smorrell back on the move, looking underneath Kyle Finlayson out of 4. Finlayson tight on the door of Smorrell, not letting him rotate that car out of the corner at all. Smorrell driving it in deep underneath the 15. You see in the background, Chris Lucky's back up into the top 10. Let's ride on board with Christopher Lucky as he works his way through the field. Last time by, Chris Lucky was nearly he's about 2/10 faster than the 3 drivers in front of him. Here at Iowa, though, track position is key in finding a line that works best for you. Now he's got to try to navigate through that traffic again to get by some of those drivers. Again, running out of laps to do so. About 18 laps remaining here at tonight's event. As our top 5's fairly much scattered out. Richard Lucky, your leader. Philip Ellis, 2nd. Dean Brummett, 3rd. Cody Ditto, 4th. Jeff Bye in the top 5. Smorl looking underneath Finlayson while Chris Lucky looks out the back door. He's trying to ride that high line around Smorl. Since the restart, Chris Lucky's been able to gain about 14 spots here after being in the top 3 all night long. I believe it's as high as second. He's got 10 laps to make gains here. Riding on board with Philip Ellis. You see the right front nose there of Ellis's car a little tore up. He's made some contact with that notorious turd 4 wall at some point, I'm sure. Ellis just trying to hang on to that car. Sounds like he is fighting a loose condition. On drive off. Richard Lucky starting to work on some lap traffic once again. Jim Ott at 6th position, Ryan Pelfrey 7th, Kyle Finlayson 8th. Those drivers starting to feel the heat for Richards. Chris Lucky as he's on the move. Again, those lap times, he's a little bit quicker than those drivers in front of him, and he knows he's got to make those moves quick. And they're also getting pretty racy themselves as Jim Ott and Ryan Pelfrey nose to tail down the front stretch. Ryan's going to peek underneath Ott. Not able to get the car completely there. Finlayson's going to look outside while they work by some lap traffic. Pelfrey's going to close the door on the top. It's just a really hard, it's a really hard place to pass in 3 and 4 especially. That outside line continues to show its dominance there. You've almost just got to hold back and wait for the driver in front of you to slip up just a little bit. Cody Ditto. He's up in 4th right now. A very strong run for Ditto tonight. He's been consistently in the top 10 here, currently 4th. An impressive showing for him. 5 laps to go tonight. Dean Brummett up to 3rd. Again, another fast driver here. Just looks like he's going to run out of time to make those gains. He's 2/10 faster than the drivers in front of him. But he's going to run out of time to get there. Richard Lucky showing that he's the class of the field here with Xfinity. He's the driver to beat. 1.1 seconds back or ahead of Philip Ellis. He's going to come across the stripe, and there'll be 3 laps to go here in Iowa. Again, time running out here. Chris Lucky's looking for opportunities. Not sure he's going to get him, though. Again, Richard Lucky, he's just pretty much set sail at this point. 1.2 seconds out front of Philip Ellis. Rolling that car through 3 and 4. He's only going to have to see that corner one more time under green because white flag is out here at Iowa. Chris Lucky making a move under Finlayson out of 2. In the meantime, powerhouse statement right here as Richard Lucky scored your winner tonight here in Iowa. Congratulations to Richard Lucky, Philip Ellis, Dean Brummett on those top 3 finishes. Cody Ditto with a solid 4th. That's a top 5 for Ditto. Good job there. Jeff By rounding out the top 5 here in Iowa. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in to SRN's coverage of Xfinity action right here on the SRN. Everybody congratulating the 41 car on that win. That Toyota Power there showing its dominance. And that manufacturer's battle going to continue to heat up right here within Ohio Sim Racing's org. We're going to take a 30-second break and step away and get ready for post-race coverage right here on the SRN. Another dominating performance tonight by Richard Lucky, and we've got him on the broadcast. Mr. Lucky, again, congratulations on that win. Look like you had the dominating car tonight here at Iowa.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, Ellis was just as fast as I was, and then my brother Chris was pretty quick. Might have looked easy on the broadcast. I don't know, just because I was out front all night, but I'll be honest, that's the hardest race I've driven all season.
So you say that. What made what made this track the most difficult? Was it just the driving, or the line available here at Iowa, getting through traffic early in the race? What really caused that?
I would just say the overall pace that everybody was running. I mean, I'm very impressed with Ellis and my brother and Dean, but really Ellis and Chris Lucky. I mean, they were just putting on a pace to where normally I can slow down a little bit and not drive, elbows up the whole time, and I can save tires. I mean, I was just driving all out the whole time. I mean, I backed it down just a little bit to save the right front tire, but the pace that these guys were going, I just had to push all race long.
Always humble, but usually very dominating. Richard Lucky bringing home another win tonight here in Xfinity action. And Richard, I know you brought home the victory at Mid-Ohio several weeks ago, and next week we go to Road America. Are you feeling lucky there as well?
No, not at all. Chris Lucky is going to show up and probably dominate that race. I mean, I know Britt Van Meter's been saying that he likes that place. I've honestly I don't think I've ever raced there, so I'm going to have to spend a little time to learn the track. But Chris Lucky is going to be real fast there. But before I get off here, I just want to thank everybody at OSR and Cody Ditto for putting this deal on, and then you, Sean, and John for doing the broadcast. And I mean, this league is just filled with great people and great drivers, and just makes it wonderful to show up every week to race with these guys.
You heard it from the winner himself, Richard Lucky, again adding another W to his ball cap tonight here at Iowa. Congratulations, Richard.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the finishing order for tonight's event here at Iowa. Again, Richard Lucky, your winner. Philip Ellis, Dean Brummett, 3rd. Cody Ditto, 4th. Jeff By, 5th. You're going to see Jim Ott in 6th. Ryan Pelfrey, 7th. Kyle Finlayson, 8th. And you heard it from Richard just a moment ago. Chris Lucky was very fast tonight. Just got stuck in traffic after that pit road penalty under that second to last caution there. He's going to finish 9th after driving his way back through the field. Chris Morrill Going to finish tonight with a top 10. Cody Ditto 11th. I'm sorry, Cody Jayberg 11th rather. Aaron Jackson 4th. Or 12th rather. We're going to learn how to do this talking thing tonight, I promise. TJ Wood is 13th. Britt Van Meter 14th. Clayton Paisley 15th. Wesley Gilliland, Carrington Wilmer, John Sears, Brandon Thomas, Gregory Valade, Mr. Gatorade himself finishing in the top 20. Gary Williams, Jeffrey Knight, John Chappell, Jason Harrison, Steve Schofield, and Anthony Luddy, Stephen Proser, Tim Likens rounding out the rest of the field here in Iowa. Again, a lot of action each and every week on the SRN. We're going to bring you all the action of OSR week next week, starting Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on the SRN. The truck drivers take on Road America for 18 laps of left and right turns right here on the SRN, and you're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you get connected to all the communities and all the streaming platforms, notified when we go live. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up over the next couple weeks, and you're certainly not going to want to miss it. With that, we're going to part ways, and we'll catch you next Monday night again alongside producer John Long. I am Sean Fitz. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next Monday.